Okay, I'd like to welcome everybody to the town board meeting, September 26th, 6 p.m. I'd ask everybody to please turn off all cell phones and electronic devices, and assisted listening devices are available for the hearing impaired. And please ask everybody to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, I'd ask, well, hold on 1 second. At this time, I'd like to ask for a moment of silent reflection, please. Thank you very much. Donna, you want to read the public hearing?
Notice is hereby given that a public hearing will be held by the Town Board of the Town of Lewiston on the 26th day of September, 2022, at 6 p.m. at the Town Hall, 1375 Ridge Road, Lewiston, New York, on the adoption of a proposed local law entitled "A Local Law Amending the Zoning Map to Incorporate a Planned Unit Development," an abstract of which is as follows. The proposed local law amends the zoning map of the Town of Lewiston to change the zoning classifications for certain lands located on Northridge Drive from one-family residential use districts, R1, to planned unit development use district, PUD. The complete text of said law is on file at the office of the town clerk and is available for review for any interested person during business hours. At such public hearing, all persons interested who wish to be heard will be heard by order of the town board, August 22nd, 2022.
Thank you very much. John Murniak.
John Murniak, Ridge Road. Listen, we've talked about this planned unit development and this rezoning many times here before the board. Okay, my fellow residents on Ridge Road have all been against this from day one when it came out of the planning board, right? According to you guys, we don't zone, we don't do zoning changes. And here you're doing the zoning change. So either you have it one way or you have it the other way. So I'm kind of guessing that only on case-by-case basis, you guys selectively go forward and rezone based on how much tax dollars might come in to the town, because this apartment that Mr. Massaro was, which was kind of an apartment, tax dollars associated with it. You can understand that, but you can't go forward and just say anybody else in this town that wants to have a zoning change or a special use variance that maybe isn't on the agreed list already from 2012, just a plain use variance. You can't do that to the residents in the town. There's more than just, in my case, my son, but you guys, listen, I'll bet you any money, if I talk to each of you individually, I probably could get agreement that, yeah, we should do something for my son up on 31. Guess what? I know 4 guys look to the center. For some reason, the center looks over here to Mr. Masters, and like was said, when there was a zoning request that my son put in back in December of 2020, Mr. Masters said, it's going to be pretty close to the quote, Mr. Murniak created his own problems, basically, and that's the way it's been for the last couple of years. So you guys, listen. You can't go forward with stuff like this, okay, for this developer or any other developer, and start changing residential lots to planned unit development or whatever, because there's other ones I know in the works. All right? You guys have to be somewhat consistent and allow residents of the town that want to have a business in this town and operate in this town to be able to do that, okay? I mean, every obstacle that could be put in my son's way has been done. Now, I understand he has created some of that himself. I will give you credit for that. But I will tell you one thing, okay, Steve, and this is on you, that he would have never looked on 31. He wouldn't have come out of that meeting with you.
Yeah, I agree.
All right?
It was his mistake,
So
but,
again,
yeah, I agree.
Any other residents from my neighbors that are here put on this, changing from residential land unit development, I'm against it, okay? Unless you guys want to open up other opportunities for other individuals in this town besides developers.
Okay, thank you. I know a few people walked in late. Does anybody else want to speak in regards to the public hearing? Okay. Yes, sir.
Good evening. Mark Rossman, 687 Scoville Drive. I've been listening to what's been going on with the development and the zoning changes, and I think there are some questions here that aren't necessarily being asked. And those are, what is the long-term benefit for this change in zoning? How does it benefit your constituents, the people that elected you? You know, it's great to have development, but that area is getting overly developed. There are apartments going up and condos going up in a large area that segment of the town. At what point is enough? You know, Mr. Massaro, I don't regard Mr. Massaro developing as a businessman. That's what business people do. But what about the people that live there? Are you asking yourself the question that, with these people have bought their homes, if their backyard now went from a wooded area with some privacy, which is why they leave the cities to come into the town, and they see a patio, an open patio from a condo or an apartment complex, would they have bought that land? Would they want to stay there? What is the value now of that property if they go to sell it? You know, those are questions that need to be addressed. What do my constituents want? How does it really benefit the town? Benefits an individual, certainly. There may be some offside benefits to it that I'm not aware of as a business person either. But does it help the people in my community? What does it do to those people? And secondly, when you look at these types of developments, how are those properties going to be maintained? How does Mr. Massaro maintain his property? The outside is very nice. Does anybody ask what the inside of, how well the insides of those properties, especially the older apartments in that complex, have been maintained? Because if they're not maintained and kept up, you get churn. If you get churn over a short period of time, then you have other issues that you need to address. So what I'm asking council to do is think about what you're doing, not just today, not just how it affects one individual or two, but everyone in that area. And what is the long-term benefit to the town? Do you overdevelop? Are there other things you can be putting into this parcel of land other than, or into this area, other than just condominiums and apartments which are cropping up all over the place? That's all I have to say. Food for thought, John.
Thank you, Mr. Russell. Anybody else like to speak? Yes, sir.
Good evening. My name is Sam Riccone. I live at 4785 East Eddy Drive. I can kind of concur with what this gentleman said. There's way too much development going around over that area. There's a lot of issues that are happening. Traffic, number one. Infrastructure, it's probably getting maxed or overmaxed. I could be wrong. The other thing I look at is the environmental aspect. I have deer running down East Eddy Drive now, Scoville Drive. There are all kinds of, I'll say, human-animal interactions that are happening, but that's just not the only thing. There's way too much development going on in this town, and I don't think the town board is actually really thinking about us, the taxpayer. I know many of you probably don't even live in the town right now. Some of you live in the village. So some of these decisions you're making don't really affect you, they affect people like me. I can tell you last Saturday, jogging down Scoville Drive, 8:30 in the morning, I almost got whacked by 3 cars because of the increased traffic around that area. Legacy Drive is crazy driving around there. People don't stop at stop signs. People are speeding up and down the street. It's just chaos. And enough is enough with this construction. When is it going to end? When are you going to start looking at people like us? So please, think about these decisions, and it's amazing how fast for a developer, yeah, we'll change that for you, but if a resident wants to do something, we got to jump through all kinds of hoops, and then we get the bear on our back. So really, think about it. This is my first time at one of these meetings, but I'm going to tell you, I'm starting to read up a little bit more about what's going on. I'm reading the Sentinel more, and I want to know why we don't have minutes posted more often than we do. Thank you.
Thanks. Anybody else? Anybody? Okay.
Ready?
Yep.
Motion to close the public hearing? Second.
A motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Moving on to the agenda approval. The only thing I have to add, well, we'll do that under Tim Masters' department head. So, anybody else need to make any changes to the agenda?
I do, van driver for the senior center. Carpeting for the senior center office and ice rink.
Okay. Anybody else?
Supervisor, I'd just like to add the fire protection services agreement,
Okay.
distributed to the programs in the fire.
Okay. Anybody else? Need a motion to approve the agenda as amended?
So moved. Second.
A motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. With that, we have a presentation from the Niagara Military Affairs Council. And I know I don't see John Cooper.
Obviously, I am not John Cooper, but I am a miniature version thereof. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you for this opportunity again. And Rob, you too, sir.
How you doing?
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. On behalf of the Niagara Military Affairs Council, I would like to thank you for providing this opportunity to present about the Niagara Falls Air Reserve Station, the largest employer in Niagara County, and the last existing U.S. Air Force installation in the state of New York. Today we will look at our work as an organization from the perspective of the past, the present, and the future. Now, the slides that you have in front of you are the same slides that I have, obviously. I have the narrative, you do not. I will be reading the narrative to you. So for your benefit, when you see me flip a page, you go ahead and do the same thing. You flip the page as well, because that will be the slide of which I speak. Okay? We work for the growth and prosperity of the Niagara Falls Air Reserve Station and those who work and serve here. Also, a positive economic impact for our community. NIMAC is always working at least 5 years in the future. Much of this time, as we advocate for this base, we are working for economic development in our community. Our community, small businesses, contractors, laborers of all kinds, benefit from our efforts. It's important that our political leaders understand this, and it's imperative that we are a part of the economic strategy of our community and our country. To be fair, NIMAC cannot take full credit for these efforts, as we have depended upon and accepted our communities and our community leaders' support, but we have led this effort for more than 25 years. Base realignment and closure, known by the acronym BRAC, dirty four-letter word, like we'd like to call it, billions of dollars accumulated in annual economic impact since the 1995 or the 2005 BRACs simply would not have taken place. The relationship we have with our federal delegation, Senator Schumer, Senator Gillibrand, Congressman Higgins and Jacobs, are all so most important to what we do. As base leadership changes from time to time, NIMAC is in continuity over that time that the base leadership depends on. It's important to note that we are Hatch Act compliant, and we stay out of the political fray. It is necessary that we remain an independent organization so that when we sit down with leadership at the installation, they know that we are not political in any way. We utilize a compatible use plan. We work together for sustainable community growth. The base cannot tell a community what they can do. So on the next slide. So in front of you, you see the three things that I want you to remember about NIMAC today. We advocate for the Niagara Falls Air Reserve Station. We work as a liaison facilitating communication and keeping those lines of communication open. And we strategize on behalf of the installation and the units here on the installation. So I'll speak about remembering the past. To be successful, we need to reflect on our history and remember our past experiences. In my opinion, when we were added by the '95 BRAC Commission to be reviewed, it was valuable to our community as it woke us up to what we have here. 2005 was much more serious as we found both of the wings on the base on the initial closure list that would have totally closed the installation. In 2012, the new NDAA, that's the National Defense Authorization Act, and that's the military budget, did not include the 107th, and that threatened 850 jobs at the airbase. Working with our state and federal delegations, we were awarded a remotely piloted aircraft mission for the 107. This is the long-term enduring mission for the 107 that we were looking for. That same year, the Air Force released their force structure document concerning the future of the Air Force. It included retiring 65 C-130 aircraft from the fleet. We saw this as a serious threat to the future of the 914th Airlift Wing and therefore our base as well. This is where our mission to strategize comes in. The NIMAC Strategic Committee saw aerial refueling as the future. We again worked with the state and federal delegation as information brokers, informing them of existing infrastructure on the base to support that mission. We worked with our consultant and major commands within the Air Force. The 2017 military budget, or NDAA, released in 2016, included $25 million for the 914th mission change. Again, another great success. So remembering the past is crucial to our future moving forward. Now what about the present? Businesses here in Niagara County and in our region depend upon our base. Businesses and communities directly benefit from the dollars spent by those who work and serve here. It is no exaggeration to say that the Niagara Falls International Airport with the new terminal opened several years ago would not have been built had we not been successful in our past efforts. Many of you have heard of CalSpan. Well, CalSpan is the premier independent provider of testing, technology development services, and systems in the aerospace and defense industries also would not be here at Niagara. So speaking about our reservists and guardsmen who are our neighbors and coworkers, one and the same. It is important to note that many of the men and women currently assigned here who are our friends, family, coworkers, neighbors, maybe even many of you here present. They only have the opportunity to serve at our Niagara base because of the community backing from NIMAC over these past 25 plus years that NIMAC has been in business doing what we do. Many great military careers started at our air base because community members had the opportunity to serve their country close to home. Reservists and guardsmen are volunteers. They miss time with their family and friends and putting themselves in harm's way to represent and defend us. Our local service members have been asked to serve all over the globe. In this year alone, we have witnessed the deployment of individuals, now from the 914th and 107th only, to Alaska, to Africa, to the Middle East, and to Europe. And when I say Europe, this includes Poland, so you know the full ramifications of what that entails. The service members bring their Western New York culture and perspective with them and bring back their experience and point of view to our community. This has a great impact on the makeup of our community and is the social impact on the base. Let's talk about the annual economic impact. Niagara Falls Air Reserve Station has a very large annual economic impact on the Western New York community. 3,000 employees depend on a $100 million annual payroll. And our business community depends on $200 million in annual operating expenses. So this equals more than a $300 million annual economic impact. These figures only account for those directly employed on the installation. And I missed a point that I'll go back to. There are 45 families alone in the town of Lewiston, and these are 914th and 107th Guardsmen and Reservists only, not counting contractors or any other support personnel, but 45 Lewiston families directly work in the Guard and Reserve on the Niagara Falls Air Reserve Station. Speaking about the federal investment in Niagara, in the past 5 years alone, over $300 million has been invested in our air base to stand up 2 new enduring missions. These are federal dollars, ladies and gentlemen, invested in Western New York. The projects listed on the slide that you have in front of you are an example of just some of the projects that NIMAC has been involved in, and it shows the importance of NIMAC's advocacy efforts. In the area of communication, of great importance is our continual advocacy and our work as liaisons and information brokers, sitting down with leadership here and finding out the needs. Working along with the various levels of the Air Force, such as the Air Force Reserve Command, the Air Mobility Command, the Air National Guard, the Air Combat Command, in addition to our federal political delegation. Military leadership, I want to emphasize, military leadership legally cannot advocate in the same way that we as a military affairs committee can advocate. We also work with the state of New York's consultant to move things along in our nation's capital in the Washington political process. From the perspective of community liaison, our work not only happens within the Air Force, but we keep a continuous dialogue within our community. The biggest threat to an Air Force base is encroachment. We appreciate the towns and cities that surround this base that passed ordinances to work closer with the base on development to protect the installation. Through regular meetings and curated opportunities, we work to educate and inform our leaders about the military and our military about our community. Our most recent activities related to encroachment include the development of a compatible use plan, which will provide an opportunity for communities around the base to receive additional federal dollars for infrastructure projects. So what's it all about? It's all about relationships. It is imperative that we continue to visit our nation's capital, the Pentagon, the major commands, and the numbered air forces that our wings report to as we continue our advocacy efforts. It is important to note that the last couple of years, the leadership in all these organizations changes, as it does every 2 to 3 years roughly. The military commanders come and go. Relationships cannot be built through virtual meetings alone. When possible these past 2 years, our volunteers attended conferences in person to advocate for the Niagara Falls Air Reserve Station. We need to build and strengthen our relationships, and we will attend in-person events whenever possible. So what about the future? Last year we came to you and said that we did not remember a busier summer for NIMAC for some time. And this year I have to repeat the statement again. NIMAC subject matter expert volunteers have been working continually to advocate for the air base and the community. We greatly appreciate towns and cities' participation in meetings that we believe will bring projects that will positively affect our base for many years to come. So as we strategize and advocate, what is the future of the Niagara Falls Air Reserve Station? The runway, the 10,000-foot runway. $6 million in design funding and support for the Air Force Reserve Command was approved in Congress. We appreciate Senator Schumer, Senator Gillibrand, and Congressmen Higgins and Jacobs for their support on this initiative, which is expected to become a $54 million runway enhancement in the future. When our strategic committee pushed in the direction of the tanker mission for aerial refueling, we knew that it was a needed asset in the Air Force and an enduring mission with opportunity for growth. It's the same with the remotely piloted aircraft mission. It's an enduring mission with opportunity for growth. Most people know them better as drones and refer to them that way. So refueling is an Air Force force multiplier because the thirst for fuel is unquenchable. The RPA, or remotely piloted aircraft mission, brought advanced communication infrastructure improvement to the base. This infrastructure enhances Niagara and brings opportunities such as the addition of an upcoming multi-agency secure facility in cooperation with the Air Force Research Lab, the University of Buffalo, and local defense contractors. Again, we have much pride in what we've accomplished. Many thanks to Niagara County, to local municipalities, UB, and defense industry partners on making sure these projects continue to move forward. So I would say from that perspective that we'd like to think our future is bright. So why support NIMAC? Why support us? I don't believe there is another volunteer organization anywhere in New York State that has an economic impact like NIMAC does for such a low cost. We have a low $125,000 annual budget, which dropped to $45,000 as we reacted to COVID. Our volunteer board of directors brings tremendous expertise. Our board is comprised of 1/3 membership from the business community, 1/3 former military, and 1/3 government that gives us expertise at the table in all those areas. The relationship that we have with New York State's military consultant in D.C. is of utmost importance, especially as we work on these large projects. And I'll interject in here briefly that tomorrow, that's where Holly and I are going to meet with our delegation in Washington. My message to local and state government is that we are worth the investment. We need your financial support, ladies and gentlemen. We have no fancy office, no big salaries, just the expertise of our dedicated volunteers that realize the value of the Niagara Falls Air Reserve Station and its importance to our community. So the slide that you have in front of you now shows the relationships that we have with all the various local municipalities here in the area. You can see here that you can see the municipalities that support us. We do really appreciate those who support us financially. It truly is a labor of love for us and our community to support this base. I love doing this, or else I wouldn't be here. So thank you very much. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And I'll entertain any questions that you may have. And if we have time, maybe even ask the audience if they have any questions or anything that anybody would like to know.
Anybody got any questions? I know you've made this presentation, not you necessarily, to this board every year.
Correct.
So, and I think everybody's been here, so what I would ask is, does anybody have any questions for NIMAC? No? Thank you. Okay, nobody signed up, but I'll ask again. Resident statements on any topic? Open up the floor to resident statements for any topic. Yes, sir.
Dan Venuto, 5216 Attic Lane, Lewiston. You have people up here speaking about the developments and how encroaching they are. I think the board should come up with a policy for a buffer zone between developments and the residents. I mean, right behind us, I live in Saddlewood, we've got Essex going up. And they just built a building in the backyard of 3 of our residents. If you go up there and take a look, and Tim knows this, it's 7.5 feet from our property line. It's a wall in the backyard. It's a 2-story building. It's disgusting. But like everybody else said, why not have setbacks bigger than they are now? I mean, it's legal. We know it's legal, what they did, but it's not right. In the future developments, I really think you should develop a policy, for a 50-foot setback or whatever it is, to make sure green space is involved in every development, instead of just building upon building upon building and making it look like a jungle. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anybody else like to speak? Okay. Department head statements. Donna, we'll start with you.
I distributed in your packet the 3 quotes that I received for our copy machine contract, and I would ask that the board consider accepting copier fax.
Now, Donna, I gotta ask, are they the ones we use currently?
Correct.
Okay. So there would be some headache, per se, to switch now to a company, because obviously this one company's $100 and roughly $60 cheaper.
Yeah. It's a difference of $168.03 to change,
Okay.
which, yes, I mean that.
And Al, you looked at it?
Yep, I would just characterize the copy, we tend to accept that second bid, copier fax, I would just designate them as the lowest responsible bidder.
Okay. Based on the fact that they're already here?
That's right.
Okay.
Given your track record,
Okay. I just want to put that on the record.
sufficient number of bids.
So I'd ask for a motion to go with the copier fax as the, how did you say it again?
Lowest responsible.
Lowest responsible.
I'll make that motion.
I'm not comfortable with that. I like the way Steve said it.
Sorry?
I said I'm not comfortable with that. I said it's the lowest responsible bidder.
Well, you're characterizing them as, based on your history with them, they're the most responsible bidder out of the 3. Given your track record.
In technically, it's a professional service, correct?
That is correct.
It's not the machine, it's the professional services, which you do not have to go with the lowest bidder. And I have to agree with Donna that for $168 over the course of a year, the aggravation of switching companies, which we've experienced with another situation, is not worth $168.
Well, I'd move to approve it based on continuous service.
Okay,
That's fine, too.
yeah, okay. So I guess I look to amend the motion of copier fax to the, basically just to approve copier fax for Donna's request for professional services.
I'll rescind my motion and make that motion as you just
Okay.
stated.
Second. We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. And I understand, Bill, where you were coming from. Anything else, Donna?
No, that's it.
Chief?
I just finished the festivals, and
except for the wet, when the snow parade was, everything was pretty smooth, no problems again this year. Also, just a reminder, looking for a direction for the connectivity for the garage so I can move things, the weather's changing.
Right.
Whenever we can ever meet with the highway superintendent yourself as to what we're gonna, how we'll handle that solution.
Okay. Tim?
As you know, we hired Lisa Wisniewski as Sandy's replacement, so I talked to some of the board members about how we're going to handle that Sandy training now or later in the...
No, we can handle it now. So Sandy Van Uden retired of 19th of September.
Their actual work day was the 30th, but her last day here was...
Right. And Sandy and I and Tim sat down and talked, and Sandy is willing to come back as an independent contractor, starting tomorrow for one day, and then she'll be off till the 1st of October per se, right around the 1st of October, for the month of October, approximately 40 hours at $2,000. So I would like to make that motion to bring Sandy Van Uden back as an independent contractor under no benefits or anything at $2,000 for the month of October.
I second that.
A motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. And I really appreciate Sandy for doing this because there was some doubt whether she'd come back because once you're retired.
You're in a little bit of a bind.
Yeah, so I really appreciate her coming back. And I think she knows we appreciate it too. So.
And the other thing is, just so you're aware, the contractor did start the window replacement at the outfall building today. So there's 2 in on the north side right now, and that work will continue on. So I was glad to see that. The windows are here, the windows are in the building, and work has started. So.
And with that, I'd like to say, if anybody wanted to drive down and take a look at our new Lower River Road Park, it's not open yet, it's not done yet, but you certainly can drive down and take a look. It's starting to really take shape. The pavilion's getting done, they poured the concrete, they're waiting for the metal for the roof, everything metal's on back order.
The wood deck, I think it comes next. I'm not sure the
Okay.
date that's going to arrive yet. But,
So I would encourage anybody to drive on down there. Okay, thank you, Jim. Jackie, you're on the agenda. Bill Conrad, anything? Nothing? Jeff Ritter? You're on the agenda. Dan Zano, anything? Nothing? Mitch Zano, anything?
Yeah, I'd like to,
Speak up, speak up.
yeah, I'd like to take Joey Disturban from the park department and move him to the highway as a laborer for that position,
Okay. Effective when?
tomorrow.
Tomorrow? Okay. And just for the record, because you don't need our approval, it's at $24.92 an hour. So, congratulations to Joe Kosterka, and that would be on 9/27.
We need a motion on that?
No, he doesn't need our approval to hire somebody in the highway.
There was a vacancy there, correct?
Yes, there was a vacancy, yes. I think he's got another one too. Yeah, so. Anything else?
And, we put in 3 quotes for a new mower for the park department.
I got them here if you want me to read it.
Yeah.
You want to wait till I'm up, or you want to do it right?
We can do it now.
Okay. Town of Lewiston received 3 bids for the above referenced project. It was a Parks Department mower, outdoor equipment distributing, $7,888. Niagara Frontier Equipment Sales, $10,319. And John Deere, $10,329.24. And Mitch reviewed the bid packets, and I'm going to make a motion to accept the outdoor equipment distributing for $78.88.
Second.
A motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Anything else?
That's it.
Okay. Melinda Olick.
Yeah, we're on the agenda, but I'm going to give my little talk about
Yep.
what's going on at the senior center. I think everybody has a copy of the newsletter. If you don't, put some on the back table. Or you can check out our website. It's not on, it's not off the press. But just to let you know what we have going on this month, I'm really excited that we are able to implement the caregiver support someone who's maybe taking care of a parent's spouse and would like to get maybe away for an hour and kind of have a little support with some other people who are going through the same thing. We all know that's very difficult and stressful. We chose the evening hours because we thought that might enable someone to have a child, another family member sit with the person that's not in work hours, the person that's needing the care. So we're excited to be offering that. We're going to start out twice a month and to see where it goes. We're kind of flexible on the hours. We're going to try the evening and see. Some people don't have anyone to care for the person that's being cared for. So we're going to try to figure out how we can work that in. But we're starting out slow. We're going to see where we can go from there. We also have our Larks concert on the 12th, the Lewiston Larks. Our stadium's at the Senior Center, so stop in if you like that. That'll be at 11 o'clock. We're also going to have a Halloween party, as I mentioned, on the 18th. So get your costumes out and come on in, or judge the Halloween costumes for the seniors. They have a good time with that. Also, we're going to be making chili and apple cress. The seniors, a local farmer, and I should know which one, but I'll let you know later on who did that. We're going to have apples we peel and make the apple crisp, and then we'll make chili, and the seniors can freeze that for in the event they get snowed in and can't come in for lunch. And also, this might be of interest to people that are on Medicare. We're having an open enrollment, which starts in October, on October 25th. So, and always we have fun football Fridays with trivia. So stop in for that about 12 o'clock. Good time for everyone. Stop in, check us out.
Thank you very much. Also, Melinda's been working Kathy, and we'll hear from Kathy next, to try and get some more evening programming at the senior center. Our senior center has a core that comes during the day, but not a lot of older or younger seniors use it in the evening. So Rob's working with a couple of companies to try and get the better lighting for the parking lot. We know that's a problem. But we would like to get to where the senior center is used more than it already has. And we want the senior center to be a place where people feel welcome to come there of all ages of seniors. So that's something we're working on too. So thank you, Melinda. And with that, Kathy, I'll turn it over to you.
Hello. Hello?
Yes, we're there.
Hi. Hi. Yes, so this past weekend we were at the Harvest and Hops Festival. We had a time there. We were able to promote some of our upcoming events. We will be at Kiwanis Park October 28th. I'm sorry, that is wrong. October 15th for our fall festival. And we will be doing a trunk or treat at Lewiston Town Hall October 28th. So that's some of the things we have coming up.
Okay, real quick, I'm going to repeat that in case anybody couldn't hear you. We're going to have the Recreation Department's going to have the Fall Festival on the 15th of October at Kiwanis Park, and on October 28th, trunk or treat here in the Town Hall parking lot. If any organizations want to participate in the trunk or treat, please get a hold of Kathy. We'd love to have more people participate. It's been a big success around the area. I know the village did a couple years ago. I think it kind of stopped with COVID, but October 28th. So, anything else? Anything else, Kathy?
No, that is all.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Ed, anything? Ed Zimmerman from our building department? Anything? Is Chris here from the building department? I don't think he is. Okay. No, I don't see him. Okay. Is that everybody? Yeah. Okay. Approval of the meeting minutes from the work session on September 12th.
I move to approve the work session minutes from September 12th.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Audit payment, Councilman Jacoby.
I move to approve the regular abstract of claims number 22-02508 through 22-02661 and recommend payment in the amount of $790,029.40 plus a post audit of $34,752.40.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. The award bid for the court offices grant, we still are waiting on a third bid, so there's nothing there. The Wilco Auto Special Use Permit Site Plan, Ward Road, there's no action being taken on that. New business, residents' public correspondence. Donna, anything? No. Under my liaison report, we have the unpaid water. Dear Supervisor and Town Board members, water sewer re-levy. I am requesting approval to place the unpaid water and sewer accounts for the Town of Lewiston on the 2023 Town and County taxes. The breakdown of water and sewer is as follows. Water, $99,095.74. Sewer, master, $47,660.41. Sewer south, $7,308.83. And the town charge of $31,700 for a total of $185,764.98. And I also want to remind people that this town charge is a $100 tax levy fee that the town charges when people don't pay their water bill. We don't want to collect $100 from our residents, but there's 317 people that don't pay their water bill. So that number of $31,700 is income to the town on people just not paying their water bill. So, and that's on top of late fees and everything like that. So I think to date, we're over $350,000 since we changed put the levy, $100 levy, approximately. We're pushing $400,000, aren't we? So it always amazes me that people don't pay their water bill. So, I mean, the town will keep taking the money, but I'd rather have everybody pay their water bill. We don't we don't shut people's water off. We put it on their taxes. So, $31,700 is free money to the town as far as I'm concerned. So I'd ask to approve putting that on the taxes.
Move for approval as presented.
Motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Just going back on that, we have to buy the water from the county, so the town of Lewiston has to pay for that water. So that's why we need the water bills paid, so we can get reimbursed for our budget process.
Yep.
For the students, that's an excellent public policy on how the town gets reimbursed from the county for unpaid bills, and then the water keeps flowing.
So this next real estate appraisal that we need approval, the DEC awarded the town a $300,000 grant to purchase Camp Stonehaven. We were also awarded a $19,000 grant to purchase Stonehaven from the geological environmental of the Greenway. As part of the DEC grant, we're required to get a second appraisal on the camp. So we reached out to Greg Kauk at KLW Appraisal Group. There's certain requirements that have to occur to be able to do the appraisal from the state. So I would ask for approval. I'm trying to find the, oh, okay. Approval for KLW Appraisal Group to do the appraisal at a cost not to exceed $3,400.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Steve,
Yeah.
amend your motion to authorize you to sign any documents.
Okay. Well, hold on a second. We'll just do this. We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. And a motion for me to sign the
Motion
document.
to direct the supervisor to sign said agreements.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. And to designate Halloween, we do this every year. It will be on Halloween, October 31st, from 4 to 7 p.m. Correct, Donna? I think the village does 4 to 8 p.m., but ours is 4 to 7 p.m. So I have motion to designate those as the Halloween hours.
Second.
We have a motion, a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Also, we worked with the Teamsters for our town hall staff. We've gone into executive session not too long ago, and I discussed with the board what that memorandum of understanding was going to be. Some legal wording. Other than that, it's what we talked about. So I would ask for a motion to approve the MOU on the contract with the office staff of the Teamsters units, Teamsters Local 264-6314.
I make that motion as stated by the supervisor.
We have a motion and a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Does anybody have any questions on that? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. So with that MOU being approved, we have a opening at the Parks Department as Joe Kosterka was transferred as a laborer to the highway. So I would like to make a motion, first of all, to have James Hescox be named head groundsperson, replacing Joe Kosterka's position. This is a promotional position at a rate of $22.45 an hour.
Motion?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And this is effective tomorrow, 9/27. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Along with that, I would like to make a motion that we move John Aquino to labor in the Parks Department effective tomorrow at a rate of $19.58 per hour, which is part of the MOU.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Now, replacing John Aquino at the Town Hall, I'd like to make a motion to hire Glenn Newton as the building attendant at $18.59 per hour per the contract, effective tomorrow.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. This only took about 8 months. So, we got through that. Legal, Ransomville Fire.
Yep, I'd like the board to consider approving the fire protection services agreement for Ransomville Fire District. It's been approved, it's the same one we've gone through before, it's a 3-year period, which kind of melds with the rest of the fire districts that we have agreement.
Move for approval as presented.
Second. With a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Move to direct the supervisor to sign said agreement.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Engineering, anything, Bob?
All squad, Mr. Supervisor.
Okay. Finance, budget revisions. Jackie.
Supervisor, board members, I placed 4 2020 budget revision requests into your board packet. And at this time, I'd like for your approval on those 4 budget revisions.
2022.
2022.
I have a question, Jackie.
Yeah.
In regards to the SRO.
Yes.
Okay.
Number
so
2.
These expenses will be reimbursed, but not until they are billed the following month. So we will be reimbursed month by month.
Month by month. Correct.
Move for approval of the 4 budget transfers as presented by Jackie Agnello.
Second.
A motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. And Jackie, the 2023 tentative budget presentation. Donna?
Hello.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I am required to read into the record. Appendix C, the 2023 schedule of salaries of our elected town officials. The highway superintendent, $76,310. The town clerk, $66,500. The supervisor, $45,567. The annual salary of the supervisor position is $45,567. The supervisor Broderick currently only accepts an annual salary of $35,000, with the salary waiver equal to $10,567.
I want to update that, though. Right now, the governor has waived a limit on retirement. So I currently am collecting the entire salary, but next year, we don't know if they're gonna continue that or not. So I'll be absolutely clear on that. So right now, I am getting the full salary. So, go ahead, I'm sorry, I just wanted to make sure. That was the only change.
And then we have 2 town justices at $29,791, and our 4 council members are making $15,066.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything you'd like to add, Jackie?
Yes, going back to the building department, can I get approval for a budget revision to take $2,000 from unused salary for Sandy and move it into the contractual?
So move.
Second.
A motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And also, Supervisor, at this time, were we going to place any more money into the Stonehaven project?
Yes, so what I'd like to do, obviously, when you get a grant like we got, the 2 grants that we got, they take a little bit of time to get. So we may incur some costs, one of them is the appraisal and some other costs. So what I would like to do is move $25,000 from the A fund balance and $25,000 from the B fund balance and put it into the Camp Stonehaven account to cover any costs until we receive that money.
So moved. Second.
A motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you.
Anything you want to add on the budget? I want to give Jackie a lot of credit. I think when you look at it, I think it's a solid budget. Jackie spent a lot of weekends here. Tim can attest to that. He drove by, saw her vehicle there.
So did I.
So I appreciate everything you've done, and hopefully it'll go smooth. On October 6th is our budget meeting, and that is open to the public. It's all day. I think, what time did we start, 9?
Start at 9 a.m. and goes through to 4:30.
Yep, till 4:30. So the public is welcome to attend our budget meeting on that.
I'd like to thank all the department heads and the board as well for making the smooth process so far. So far.
Yeah. Councilman Guyban, your liaison report?
A couple quick things. I want to commend our Melinda for getting the quotes to move ahead with the new carpet in the offices. She was able to get 3 quotes, which has been due to our procedure for the last so many months, having difficulty. And she had one that is under $1,000. It's in our budget. She'll be moving ahead with that. She received a communication from Peter Barrows that he is declining the position, so we will continue the post that we have for a van driver, and Melinda will be interviewing and reaching out and hopefully find a new van driver. All right, that's part-time position, starts at what salary, Melinda?
For next year, it'll be $15 an hour.
So if anybody needs a part-time job, all right, talk to Melinda. And a different topic, the ice rink, I talked to the mayor about the ice rink, and at this point, the mayor does not have a solid plan as to what's going to happen in the village with their shelter that they've been proposing. And we just have to make a decision ourselves whether or not we want to move forward using the site from last year with permission from the village, if we want to go in that direction.
I think we need to make an absolute decision on that by the next board meeting, which is, well, it's not the 10th, because that's a holiday. Is it the 13th? So our next board meeting, our work session will be on the 13th. I would like to be able to make a decision by then.
Get Kathy and Mitch look over as much of the ice rink as possible and get a decision whether or not we can move ahead with it.
Yeah, we need to sit down and have a meeting, so, okay.
We still have our tent, don't we?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we still have the 10. So,
That's it, Mr. Supervisor.
okay. Councilman Jacoby, your liaison report.
The only thing I have to mention is the Marble Orchard Ghost Walk's ongoing every weekend, every Saturday night through the end of October. And it's put on by the Lewiston Council on the Arts. And it's pretty well received. People seem to like it. And it's a big fundraiser for the Council on the Arts. So if you have a mind, you might want to come down and see it. That's all I got.
Okay, thank you very much.
Councilman Jacoby is the hanging judge in that, in case anybody wants to know.
Councilman Morial.
I got a few items tonight. I got 2 sewer refunds for Sabine Kennart at 5283 Military Road, Lewiston, New York, asking for a $61.52 sewer credit for refilling the pool. I'm making a motion on that.
Second.
With a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And also the second one is a Gretchen Broderick at 561 Morgan Drive, Lewiston, New York. She's asking for a $122.70 refund, and that's a motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
And I'm going to abstain, because that is my aunt.
Okay. And both of them have been reviewed by Jeff Ritter, and they were okay by him. Okay. Second thing on my agenda is the grass cutting levy. It's from Tim Masters, who's in charge of this. For the grass cutting law, I've had 35 parcels in the town cut. The fee for the cutting totals is $7,421.25. There is also a $100 administration fee with a total of $3,500 per parcel, which totals $10,921.25. And it's make a motion to apply it to their taxes.
Second.
We have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Next one is the Parks Department mower bid, which we did.
Yeah.
So that's done. And supervisor to sign the Water Pollution Control Center SCADA Phase 2 upgrade, which is a new panel project going on at the sewer department.
It's phase 2,
Phase
correct?
2. Phase 1 is done. And then in the engineering fees, this will be $387,000 fee. I want to make a motion to accept the charges for this.
Second, one comment.
Yes.
Okay, we have a motion and a second, go ahead.
But funding is coming from SS1 fund balance.
Yes. Yes, and like I said, this was approved prior, this is just phase 2 to that, so it's in the, I believe it's in the
As
budget.
planned.
Right?
It would come from the access one fund.
Yes.
Okay.
So that was a motion for the supervisor to sign it.
We have a motion and a second?
Second.
No, we have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carried.
And the last thing I have is bids for a fence at Village Green Road, south side entrance off of Bronson. One side of the road was done, the other wasn't done, and this is on Lewiston property. And I got 3 bids to replace the fence on the other side of the road. The first one was Davidson Fence at $6,900. The second bid was Iroquois Fence at $8,500. And the third bid from Fox Fence was $10,814.30. And that's for 128 feet, 6-foot-high vinyl fencing. And I'd like to make a motion to accept the Davidson fence for the $6,900, and the money will come out of the H-97 fund.
I second that.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
And that's it.
Do we need to make a transfer out of that, Jack? We don't need to make any transfer.
I could charge it directly to the
Okay. Councilman Myers?
I don't have anything.
Okay. Any resident statements? Yes, sir.
Dominic Massaro, Jason Court. With the closing of the public hearing today, will the town board take any action concerning the rezoning of the properties that we've asked for, in addition to the planning board making the recommendation to the town board on their approval of our conceptual site plan and plans for approval? The reason why I ask this is that we're in the process of developing final engineering drawings for submission to Mr. Masters, which would be necessary for a building permit to be issued. He does his necessary due diligence to make sure that everything is in accordance with existing town codes, and I want to make sure that he's free and available to review and approve that. And if there's formal action required by the town board tonight, I would respectfully request that action be taken.
Okay. we're going to try, I mean, we try and stay consistent with the public hearings, that we take into account what everybody had to say, discuss it with our building inspector, discuss it with the parties involved, and I believe we'll come up with a decision on October 13th. That was the plan, and that's kind of what we try to do
So
consistently.
we'll know by October 13th?
Yes, yes.
That's acceptable. Thank you very
Yep.
much.
Thank you. Anybody else?
A couple of things, John Moran again, Ridge Road. Two things. One, how long does it take to post the meeting minutes on the website? Okay, right now, I think June is when the meeting minutes are showing up on there. I mean, you guys are approving meeting minutes from the work session, which was a couple of weeks ago, so I would assume they get posted right away.
Right, when I get into work tomorrow, I will update it all the way until what was approved today.
All right, I mean, just for any other residents that's keeping track of what's going on, it kind of makes sense.
And also, these meetings, I know not everybody does Facebook, but these meetings are all on Facebook at the Town of Lewiston's Facebook page,
Right,
too.
right. When people
I
that
just-
are out of town or
Right.
whatever will call up and see what happened in
Yep.
the meeting.
I
Okay, so
understand.
I think it's important that they get, posted up there at a reasonable amount of time. The second thing is to follow up on what I brought up at the work session about the brush chipping that's gonna go on. There's a date that's set, Brian, when that's gonna start yet?
We haven't heard from them, we just know who's gonna do it.
We haven't heard from them yet. Has any decision been made? Probably not, regarding having some other area that not only tree companies can dump into, but also your own people. It seems to me last year we had an early snow, and you guys had a lot of brush still out on the road that hadn't been picked up yet because the tree chipping company took so long to get the work done. So I think it's in everybody's best interest if you can come up with a secondary area that, that the town can put the brush in and tree companies that are working in the town can put the brush in, okay, for next year's chipping. It just makes sense to me that's, we fight this every year, it seems, and
Well, you fight it every year. I mean, it's a complimentary
No.
service provided, hold on, let me finish. It's a complimentary service provided by the town that we do not have to provide, okay? You have means to take it to other locations in the period that it's done, okay? And I believe that, like Mr. Zano explained to you the last time, that's taken into the cost of removing trees by your son's company. So
Correct.
it's done as a complimentary service, and we'll let you know when it's done. I believe the town, we probably have an area where we put our brush. We're good with the towns.
We will be
We'll-
done
yeah.
ourselves. We start leaves, we are done with brush.
Yeah.
Boxes go on, we have no way to pick it up.
Yeah.
We are done with brush here in another month, we are done just right now.
Yeah, so.
my son watched those snowflies, so, and I mean, it's
It's a
residents in
complimentary
the town.
service. It's a complimentary service that other towns don't provide, so we'll do it as soon as we can. Mr. Murray, I'm not gonna get in a back and forth with you, but I'm gonna ask you, okay? Your son is currently operating a business in an R1 district, okay? Does he have any intention of changing his plans of operating a business in an R1 district? You keep asking us questions, I'm gonna ask you questions. I mean, we get complaints from his neighbor. It's not fair to his neighbors. All I hear is neighbors, neighbors, neighbors with you. What about the neighbors on Ridge Road that have to deal with a business being operated on Ridge Road? Can you answer that?
Well, I'm gonna tell you, his vehicles and his equipment is parked over here, okay? His business isn't there.
Well, I drive by it every day. There's all kinds of equipment back
What do
there.
you mean, what? He has his pickup truck and a trailer with his tractor that he uses for mowing his property.
Okay. Well, I see equipment, tree service equipment back there. We've had complaints from the
And
neighbors.
let's go back.
We've had complaints from the neighbors. I'd love to see him
Listen.
attend to those needs.
Listen, it all goes back to his property on 31. and what
This has nothing to do with this
Listen,
property on
no,
31.
no.
This is a residential area
No.
over here, R1, the most restricted area,
No.
and he's operating, he's doing whatever he wants.
Stop.
He's
Okay?
doing whatever he
Stop.
wants.
Keep-
No,
listen.
we're done. We're not gonna go back and forth. You had your piece.
I do have, listen, you cannot tell me, okay, that there's a complaint from my son, when you drive around and all of these landscapers and grass cutters are running businesses out of.
All
the
I know
property.
is we receive complaints about your son's property.
Yeah, you always, because, ever
We
since
receive-
day one, since he started, there's been complaints.
Right, because he's in violation of the town code. So when is he gonna correct that?
You know, I don't know what more you expect. He lives there, he parks his pickup truck there, his trucks and equipment are over here. I
Well,
don't understand what more you want.
What more we want, okay. So, thank you very much. So, moving on to upcoming boards and commission meetings, the town hall is closed on October 10th, Columbus Day. Historic Preservation's October 11th at 5:45 PM. Environmental Commission's October 11th at 7 PM. Town Board Work Session is October 13th, Thursday at 6 PM. Zoning Board of Appeals is October 13th at 6:30 PM. Planning Board is October 20th at 6:30 PM. And the regular Town Board is October 24th at 6 PM. And on October 6th, our all-day budget meeting, and that is open to the public. So with that, I'd ask for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.